This is Stuart Deacon, and I'm here with Kenneth Dunphy for another critique of some of his images. We have 5 this time. How are you doing, Kenneth?
I'm good, thanks, Stuart. And yourself?
I am doing very well. And what time is it over there for you?
It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's nice, reasonable hour.
Are you at work right now, or are you supposed to be working?
Well, I am working.
Okay.
Lunch hour.
Yeah, okay. This is before breakfast for me, so I'm going to get this in before my workday starts.
Okay.
Okay. Good. I am going to share my screen, and I'm going to get right to it here. Okay. Everything's coming through?
Yep. We have you now, yeah.
Okay. So this is the first one I'm going to go over. Why don't you tell me something about this guy?
Okay. This guy was he was at a fair. So I was trying to get some portraits of some different characters. This guy was just sitting inside a doorway. So the light you see is he's just in the shade. But the light is actually coming in the doorway. And I used the 50 mil lens. I think it was 1.4. So I just wanted his front eye in sharp focus. There's a lot of stuff behind him, so I wanted everything to fall off.
Right. Okay.
So you can probably see there, one of his eyes is very sharp. And from the bridge of his nose backwards, the focus begins to fall off.
Absolutely. Okay. And what are some things you think were not achieved?
I think I would have preferred maybe a little bit of more light on his left side of his cheek and back towards his ear. It just looks a little bit dark there. And maybe if I was doing it again, instead of going 1.4, I might have gone 2.8 or even 4, just to get his other eye a bit sharper.
Okay.
But there, you can actually see somebody behind him there. That's actually a person.
Right.
And there's a lot of busy stuff behind him. So I suppose, 1.4 did knock all that out of focus, which is a good thing.
Right. Yeah. It's strange with bokeh sometimes what's going to be discernible and not.
Yeah.
In the background. Okay. I really like this one. I think there's a great level of detail. In his eye. I mean, I can see you standing there.
Yeah.
It's great. And these broken capillaries in his cheeks and everything really comes out, and you can really tell, the weathered look of this guy, which is really fantastic. The detail is great. Even the soft little hairs on his hat, you can tell what those are. And yeah, you can definitely tell this is a person in the background. Sometimes when you've got lights and things in the background, they will blur things a little bit more. But when everything's in the same light scape, I guess, they kind of they still have some definition, which is fine. The light from the doorway is fantastic. It's really soft. You're right, it's lighting up this portion of his face, but really this is the portion you decided to keep in focus, so that's okay. If anything, I probably would say, because it was your goal to have this portion out of focus, some shadow here would not be a bad thing, I don't think.
Okay.
Because you want to draw, as much as when you look at somebody, you see the eyes first, you almost want to have both of them in focus for a portrait. But if your goal is to have this out of focus, I would say some shadow would actually be better. Because it would draw you away from that section. The only other thing I notice in this is that the brim of his hat, it's okay that it's out of focus, but it seems a little too close to me. Like I'm going to bump my head on it looking at the picture. It's got a weird 3D effect where it's kind of coming out at me a little bit. Other than that, I really like this. Now, you've done a couple other portraits in the cohort and for this critique that were actually in black and white.
Yeah.
And I really like those ones a lot. I know you said in your level 10 that you wanted to focus on portraiture and see if it was your thing or not.
Yeah.
And I think it. I don't know how you're liking it so far personally. What's been coming out of it is pretty great though. I really like those black and white ones. They really show definition and they show a little bit more of the story. And I think though the colors are really, you know, representative of what was going on, everything looks very, it doesn't look flat like a raw image or anything like that. It looks very replicated. But this one might benefit from a black and white as well.
Yeah, I'll try it in black and white. The only concern about this one in black and white, there's so much black in it, like his hat and his shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But it's easy enough to convert it and see what I think anyway.
Sure, yeah. But when you've got this light coming onto his hat, like up here, and this whole portion up here, I mean, it won't come out as black. It'll probably be more gray, more of a neutral tone once you convert it. And there's other things you can play with.
Yeah, it's one thing in our camera club. The guy gave a presentation last week. He does a lot of character portraits, but just he showed us color ones and the black and white. The amazing thing is, once you went to black and white, the background was completely knocked out. Your eye was completely drawn to the person's face.
Yep.
It does make a huge difference.
It does, yeah. And if that is your goal, I mean, there are a lot of portraits out there that incorporate other aspects that have a really good background. Or you had one the other day that was outside and had a nice kind of stone wall in the background. It really added to the picture. That was really good. So there are those. Okay, I'm going to move actually in a weird order here, and I'm going to go to this guy next, your second portrait. This is exactly what we're talking about, black and white. And why don't you tell me about this guy first before I...
Okay, this was a strange one actually. This is a friend of mine. It was taken the same day. He's actually in the camera club with us. I collected him that morning. He actually dressed up for this fair day. And the amazing thing was, a lot of the club members actually took his picture and didn't know who he was.
Okay. It does look like a good character.
It was an important lesson for me. It taught me that sometimes when we get the camera between us and our subject, we just shoot away and we don't actually look at what we're shooting.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think that came across with the members, the fact that they were all shooting and didn't know who he was.
You get caught up in the moment a little bit?
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Well, he makes a really good subject. He looks very National Geographic-ish, just looking off into the distance with that deadpan face. It looks very good. This I think benefits from the black and white a lot. You get to see all the lines in his face, all the little hairs on his hat. I mean, everything is very detailed. His eyebrows are very whiskery looking, almost sharp. If I touch them, I'd probably cut myself. It gets out of focus when you get down to his shirt here, but that's just fine because you're falling off the edge here of the frame. It looks perfect. I love the lines of his suit. Everything's really great. Again, here's another person in the background, but you can barely tell they're there because it's all shaded.
Yeah.
That's one thing with the black and white. You know, I really just see these rafters in the roof, and that doesn't distract anything at all. I think that's fantastic. One thing also that the black and white does help, I'll just say real quick, is you can't see it so much when I zoom in here, but when I zoom out, you can see there's a little bit of, oh, it's kind of popped away now. Maybe it was just my screen. Sorry, I saw a little bit of moire in the lines here.
Right,
You're familiar with that effect? Yeah, I saw a little bit in the lines here, but I don't see it when it actually refocuses, so maybe it's just my screen.
Okay.
Sorry, you're going to say something?
Yeah, the one thing that did on his glasses, he was painting the wall or something, so there's a lot of specks of paint on his glasses.
Yes.
But I left them in because to start trying to clone all them out, I'd probably end up ruining his eyes behind anyway.
No, I think that adds to it. I think that looks
Yeah.
great. It just adds to his weathered appearance. His little 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock shadow he's got going on down here and everything. It just makes him look weathered. It's fantastic. I love that. The only things that I notice, I think maybe he could be an inch to the right, just to get a little bit more of his hat, maybe.
Okay.
And his ear starts to get caught up in the vignette.
Right. Yeah.
So that, I mean, this one's shaded, but it looks like shadow from his brim. This one looks like it's cut off from the vignette.
It's cut off. I got you. Yeah.
And just these little light flecks that come in on the border here.
Just 1 sec. Yeah.
And there's some down at the bottom here. I'm not sure what these repeating patterns are here. Is that
I'll have to have a look at that.
effect, maybe? Oh, and I see actually little digital blocks all the way across the bottom. Is that just me, or? No, I'm seeing those. Those are actually there.
Okay.
I'm not sure where those are from, but that's obviously not from the picture. That's
I must check the picture because I haven't seen those before.
okay. I'm just seeing all these little things all along the borders here.
Yeah.
But that might be because you resized it and sent it to me, or
Okay.
if those aren't part of the picture, then fantastic. I have nothing more to say.
Okay, Stuart.
Otherwise, it looks great. I love that one.
Thanks.
Okay, now the planer.
Okay. This is a different kettle of fish. This one and the pumpkins are actually done in the completely dark room, just with a small torch.
Okay. Now, did you? Now we'll get to the pumpkin one in a second because I actually wanted to leave that one for last. But these two images, did you compose these yourself, or were these set up like this?
No, I composed that myself. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
So that's just a plane with some rusty iron behind it, and a couple of tools around it, and some metal shavings off the background on a piece of wood.
Right. And what are you? Sorry, what are you? You're just lighting this with a
with a small
or a flashlight, or
yeah,
a torch, I guess you guys call it.
Yeah.
Okay. You wouldn't know. It looks like a window is open.
Okay.
How dark was the room that you were in?
Completely dark. Absolutely no
light.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because this looks like the light's coming in from the window of like a barn or something like that. That's the feeling I get.
Yeah.
I really like this one. I think it's fantastic. I think the composition is really cool. I know a lot of people love this old woodworking stuff. I actually just sold one of these planers to a friend of mine for $100 that doesn't work anymore, but he wants to give it to his dad for Christmas because he collects them. I think that's really cool. I love seeing this old world carpentry type stuff, and I think having the metal shavings around is just it's great. It looks so organic.
Yeah.
You know, the dirt on here. I mean, your detail of focus is always so great. The dirt and everything you've got around this planer is fantastic.
Yeah.
My only thing that I would say about it again is maybe just move the camera 1 inch to the left so that you have a little bit more room over here.
Okay.
Because you've got a nice bit here before the handle, but the handle points past the center and then over here, whereas this is short and stubby and doesn't go very far. So maybe just 1 more inch of room on this side would be great.
Okay.
Other than that, the light is fantastic. Nothing is blown out on the handles where you start to lose detail. That would really be a killer, I think, because your eye is drawn to these 2 points right here, mostly.
Yeah.
And if there are no detail in those spots, then I think there might be an issue. But I don't see any here at all. This is great.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I'm just going to keep moving on from that one because I have nothing more to say about that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. This place.
This is my house.
This is my house. It looks fantastic.
I'm only joking.
Definitely going to come visit you now.
This actually is an old workhouse. There's a lot of history to this. We have a lot of these workhouses in Ireland, going back to the time of the famine. So I suppose you were lucky during the famine. You managed to scrape up the price of a boat to America, and if you couldn't afford the fare to America, you ended up in a workhouse. Were fairly harsh places. But people were thankful to have them to go to.
Right.
So
okay, and this is you're able to go in and just walk around.
Yeah, we got permission to go in and do a few shots one day, because they're not very safe upstairs. As you can imagine, the floors are rotten. So you have to be careful where you go.
Yeah, I actually see something moving here. I don't know if this is falling off. Or
could be. Yeah.
What's going on there? Yeah. Okay.
So
what were you trying to achieve here?
Okay, with this one, I was just trying to. I used a wide-angle lens on this just to give an idea of the decay in the house, and also a feeling of the different rooms and the stairs, and also the way the ceiling was just falling in and the green algae on the walls.
Okay, and where do you think you may have fallen short?
I think maybe I try to include too much in this one. I think the left-hand side is pulling the eye away from the rest of the image. So maybe if I cropped in about 3 or 4 inches into the left, it might be a stronger image.
Right. Okay. That is exactly what I would have said. The light in this house is great. I love this light coming in from the windows up here.
Yeah.
And shining in from this side here. I could only imagine later in the day how intense this would be.
Yeah.
Especially if you got dust flying up or something like that, it would be really cool. Including this ceiling here, I think is really important. I think it adds to everything. Yeah. And this doorway is very interesting going into this other room. You're right. I don't think this one adds anything.
Yeah.
I think maybe if you cut it right along this line before the doorway, just having the one doorway and the stairs, I think is more than enough. I like the wide angle look. It makes the stairway really look three-dimensional and add to it. This is definitely what I would say is the subject would be this guy right here. Even though he's kind of right in the middle, it's fantastic. But without the left side, I go from the stairway to the light up here right over to this door.
Okay. Yeah.
And that little triangle right there, I think, is really just that's the whole image for me. I do like seeing this stuff move here. It looks dangerous. But I think maybe it's just because this is so bright, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Compared to everything else. Yeah. But the level of detail is great, and I love these kind of decayscapes or whatever they're calling them now. These crumbly places. I think they look really cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. I'm just going to go right on to.
Okay.
The pumpkins, which is my favorite. I love this one. This is great.
Okay.
Now, did you said you set up this composition yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did this. I did this shot in a workshop with. There's a guy you should actually look up. His name is Harold Ross. He's in the States.
Sorry, what? Say that again?
His name is Harold Ross.
Harold Ross. Okay.
And he does all light painting. So we set this up. and we just lit this with a small little torch again. But there's a lot of detail in this. You can imagine we did one still light for the whole subject, and then we lit each part individually. So we've done
okay.
3 images for each pumpkin, and then the leaves separately, and just brought it all together, blended it all together.
Okay.
So that's why you're getting such a soft looking light, and you're wondering where's the light coming from.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it looks like it's coming from the top right, but then there's certain pumpkins where this one, it doesn't quite look as direct as this one does.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you're able to put the light in wherever you want, and shade it down as well.
Right. Okay. So how do you feel about these sort of still life ones versus the portraiture ones?
Well, the still life are a lot more difficult to do because there's a lot more detail, a lot more setting up. What I do like about them is it makes you slow down and think about your composition and also about your lighting, because the direction of your light, you have to think it out first. You can't just light it any direction.
Absolutely, yeah. And that could be a great practice for anything, really, right?
Yeah.
That's something I need to do more. But this one is the reason I ask if you set this one up yourself, because it looks fantastic, and you know, when I pull away and you look at it from a little bit further away, even the background, the amount that's lit in the background has this smoky drifting off to the right effect that really pulls your eye into the subjects, and I think it looks just unbelievable. And then once you're done with the pumpkins, you kind of fall down to all these leaves and acorns and stuff along the bottom. I think it's really set up. Fantastic. I mean, this could be a calling for you. I'm not sure if you. That's why I'm asking if you really like it, because I think this one in the planer.
It's something I'm really getting back into the light bit now, because of the dark evenings. Obviously in the summer, you need a dark room. With the long summers, it's not ideal. The evenings are closing in now, and I'm back light painting again.
Right. Yeah.
And one thing
that's like me. I'm not getting too many hours of daylight now.
Yeah, and even on that shot, you can see the folds of the cloth on the front of the. You know, everything is kind of detailed and three-dimensional.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I this is my favorite one. I think it's really great. The only one thing, and I had to find one thing to say. The only thing I could find at all is that this guy right here, this pumpkin in the back, he seems a little out of focus. Now, that could be because of the color of the pumpkin with the light. It may just be giving that illusion that's a little out, because the stem itself seems pretty sharp. But the pumpkin itself, I think because of the soft light and the soft, the delicate color of the pumpkin, I think it's losing a bit of the detail. Where if you look on one of these guys, whoops, there we go. If you look on one of these guys, it's very sharp. And you see every little ridge and bump and detail, and that's what is coming out when you're painting it, and it looks, you know, just scarred, and you know, pumpkins are so rough and disgusting. That this guy looks very clean and soft compared to the rest of them, and I think that it looks like a little detail is being lost there. But other than that, like I said, you know, this one is fantastic. And when you pull away and you look at it, everything just comes together, and you don't get confused at all. And I love how this background is dark in this section. I think if it wasn't shaded over here, I don't think it would have the effect that it does for me. Because the pumpkins are set up in such a imperfect triangle. It's kind of a short end over here and a long end this way. It accents the background, and I think that's what does it for me. That's That's great composition. So you may be missing a calling here if you don't look into this. The portraiture is great too, but then this could be a secondary talent. Yeah, because this one's really good.
Yeah, no, I really like the light painting. There's a lot to do and a lot to learn on it, but I'm just back into it now. So you'll probably see more of this the next while.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm surprised that one didn't make it into the cohort critiques yet, because that one's really cool. When, sorry, when did you take that pumpkin photo?
That was taken, I think, about this time last year.
Oh, okay. So it wouldn't be a new works.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a really cool one, and I would suggest maybe sharing that just so that the guys in the group could see that, because that's something that the people in our cohort, no one's really done a still life or anything like that. That's a different genre. I think you know, some people have their macro thing, and then we have our landscape scenery thing and our architecture people. But I think the still life thing is something really cool, and I think that would open up some new ideas to people to see the light painting aspect. Because I know I don't do light painting at all.
Okay.
I'm not very familiar with it, so that would be something cool to discuss. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, will do.
Will do. Okay. Okay, Kenneth.
Okay, Stuart.
I'm going to let you get back to work, and I'm going to go start doing something here. So thank you very much for coming and joining me.
Not at all. I hope that helped you.
Again. Yeah, no, it helps out tremendously. Okay.
Great.
You have a great day. I'll talk to you later.
Well, Stuart, thanks for that. Talk soon. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.